Have you fished the Ozark Rig? The core tackle Ozark Rig here that I'm holding in my hand gives you yet another new way to rig baits. It's basically a hook with an angled hook eye and the weight along the shank of the hook. And this allows you to rig baits up in a way that makes them glide quite a bit on the retrieve. Today on Fish Den 365, we're going to take you underwater and show you 3 different baits that I rigged Ozark style so that you can see how they work and make better decisions for what you would like to fish with. The Ozark rig that we used today was a 2/0 hook with a 1/8 ounce weight. This was the Ozark rig we used for all 3 of the baits that you'll see on the video today. One of the complaints about the Ozark rig is that when you go to rig this, if you were to rig it through the top of the bait and push it down through and then pull it through, oftentimes that tends to lead to tearing of the bait. The baits can tear quite easily. So I saw a recommendation from Matt Steffen on a better way to rig the baits, and in all of the baits in this video we rigged them the same way. So we'll show you how that is right now. So this is a beaver. The way we rig it is we come about 1/4 of an inch from the nose and go right through the top of the bait with the hook. And then we're just going to pull that through the bait all the way through. And our line would be tied onto that line tie. Push it all the way through the other side. And then when it comes out on the other side, we're going to turn it so that line tie is in the bait. And then we're just going to put the hook in straight, just like that. So what happens is the line tie is right here. The line comes into the top of the bait, and then the line tie and that little piece on the front keeps it held in place. So that's how you want that to look. So it holds it right in place, and it keeps that weight mounted on the bottom of the bait, just like so. Now when we did the underwater footage, look for the ways that we fished the bait. We fished the bait 3 or 4 different ways. We used short hops, small hops. We used larger hops. We've done some dragging along the bottom, and then depending on the bait, we fished it almost like a soft plastic jerk bait, just to see how that would look through the water as well. So you'll see those 3 to 4 different retrieves, and you can see how the bait behaves in each case looking at it underwater. First up was the Reaction Innovations Sweet Beaver. This is a crawfish style presentation, and it really looks quite a bit like a crawfish scooting along the bottom when you use this Ozark rig. You have a nice glide all the way down to the bottom, and then once it hits the bottom, when you use those soft pops or dragging, it looks like a crayfish trying to get away. One of the more interesting rigs was rigging it on this, the Sense Panorama. This is the 3.5-inch Panorama. When we rig the Panorama this way, we get a really nice spiraling effect as the bait goes down to the bottom, and the bait really has a good glide to it. And if you offset the hook a little bit, you can really get that spiral. If you hook it completely straight, you get a really nice glide, and the bait has a very good look to it. It looks as though the bait is a dying bait fish as it's being popped off the bottom, but you could also just retrieve it straight through the water column, and it looks pretty good that way too. The last bait that we rigged was a Zoom Centipede. This is kind of almost like a French fry type worm. We rigged it sideways so that it would have more width to catch the water. And we used a sideways rig so that the bait was flat like this. And this had a rather enticing look in the water too as you popped it up and down. The tail came alive. As it would hit the bottom, you'd see movement in the tail as though the bait was alive. So 3 very different baits and some interesting actions when you rig it on the Ozark rig. I can't wait to fish this rig this year because I think we're going to have some fun experimenting with it. And you're going to want to keep it tuned here for the next video because we're going to show you 3 other baits that we rigged with it underwater, and one of those was quite special. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see a video about a real simple rig that catches a lot of bass, take a look at the tiny child rig video right here. Until next time, be safe out there, hope to see you on the water, and as always, may God bless your fishing endeavors.